All right, video number 2 right here, folks. Again, my slab is this thin, 1/8 on the dial. And I did that in a couple of passes so that it ends up being wider. We want it to be circular or squarish. We do not want it to be long. That's not going to really work out. You can work with it that way, but you guys tend to make mistakes with it. So try and get it long. Try and get it round. Ask for help. I'm happy to help you. So now our job is to get this bowl pressed into the bowl, or the clay pressed into the bowl, hence the name press bowl, sgraffito bowl, whatever you guys want to end up calling it. And there's a couple of guidelines that are going to make your life a little bit easier. So first, we always want to compress the clay. We always want to take our smooth rib, and we want to start by setting ourselves off on the right foot by smoothing out the clay, cleaning it up. Doesn't have to be perfect, because you are going to be working at it quite a bit later, especially the outside, especially the inside. This is just to kind of give you a head start on things. All right, so super cool, nothing too crazy right there. This part is pretty straightforward. Just as centered off as you can inside your slab. Use the rim of the bottom of the bowl to give you a little guideline circle, and then use the outer rim of the bowl to make your life a little bit easier. Okay, and this is just, again, a guideline because we're going to make a single cut right there to allow us to get this flat clay into this roundish bowl. All right, now you guys know from experience that you do not want to put a slab of clay inside this bowl because it's going to get stuck. So we have to have some sort of release agent, and in our case we're going to be working with plastic bags. All right, the plastic bag that you have in your cabinet will work just fine. Don't stress on how terrible it is because the bowl will help you out. I'll show you what that's going to look like. So I'm taking from my center circle and I'm going to make a single cut, and that's going to allow this thing to fall inside of its round space. Taking this top part, you can cut this down as much as you want to help you kind of get things lined up and matched up. And you could see all I did there was, again, make the cut so that this guy will fit inside of there, or will fall inside of there a little bit more easily. Pushing him in so that he takes the inner shape of the bowl. Don't stress too much on this stuff. We're going to cut a lot of that off later. Pushing in carefully so as not to puncture the slab that I'm working with. All right, so now you can see what's going on right here. Because we're putting that flat slab into the thing, we're getting a whole bunch of flowering happening up here. So what you're going to do is get rid of the extra using a needle tool. Maybe not a knife, because you're probably going to cut through the bag if you use a knife. Just chop off the top. Maybe a wood knife will be okay. Just getting rid of the extra stuff. Guess where that can go? Right back in the bag. All right, our next problematic spot is going to be the flap that we ended up cutting the extra off, or where we ended up cutting the extra off. So it helps to leave a little bit of extra, remove that stuff, and just to be extra sure that we're doing this well, we're going to take and scratch up, score that surface of both those sides so that we know that the clay is connecting to itself. Take a little bit of water right there, and I'm going to smoosh those two guys together nice and even like. Make it all pretty. Take a little bit of extra, put it right up top. A little bit of water, just so that I know that I have the height on this thing, because I want it to be as tall as the bowl that I'm working with. This isn't necessarily the tricky part, but you do want to make sure that with a sponge, your clay is pushed all the way into the bottom corners of the bowl. And you are welcome to use the turntables. They're under the back sink, little lazy Susans. Those are going to make your life pretty easy when it comes to this project. Put a little chunk of clay at the bottom of each side of this. Help keep it kind of still and where it's supposed to be in the center of this bowl. Alright, I'm going to pause that video right there, and I'm going to turn it into another video so that it's broken up into small parts. I'm going to show you how to clean this up and get it nice and pretty.